You're listening to the Angry Marks Podcast Network.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. My name is Arya Whitner, and this is your NXT update for Wednesday, November 15th, 2017. I am back from Australia. In case you're curious, the trip was amazing. I wish I did not have to come home, but I'm here. I do want to thank Rohan Unrao for filling in for me the last 2 weeks. And let's see if I remember how to do this. Show kicked off with Black Solo Cup time. The Street Profits were here, ready to kick off the in-ring action, going 2-on-2 with Tino Sabatelli and Riddick Moss, who are on a one-match winning streak. Can Sabatelli and Moss continue that winning streak here tonight, folks? Well, in a word, no. They couldn't. Anyway, while I was away, these four men had a confrontation in front of Sabatelli and Moss's Maserati, so that led to this bout. And this was actually the Street Profits' first non-squash match since their push began, and they were running wild until Moss distracted Montez Ford, giving the heels the advantage. Angelo Dawkins got the hot tag, which woke the crowd back up momentarily until he missed a corner splash, but Dawkins hit a forearm out of nowhere and picked up the win with a pin on Moss. Now, I don't know if this match was heavily edited, but that finish sure did come out of nowhere. The whole show, by the way, they aired video packages building up basically the three main men's matches. Built up War Games, built up the title match, built up Aleister Black, Velveteen Dream. They didn't do anything for Sullivan and Ono or even for the women's four-way, but we'll get to what they did do for that in just a minute. Speaking of Lars Sullivan, he was in action next against Raul Mendoza, and in case you didn't hear me 5 seconds ago, this Saturday night at NXT TakeOver War Games, Cassius Ono has a death wish as he goes one-on-one with the undefeated in singles competition, Lars Sullivan. Raul Mendoza cut a really good promo 2 months ago here on TV, and of course he's yet to be given promo time or even a win since then. Mendoza lit Sullivan up with kicks early on and came off the top rope with a what a maneuver. However, Sullivan used the Vladimir Kozlov headbutt to the chest to cut him off. Sullivan squashed Mendoza with 2 corner splashes and then hit a power slam before finishing off Raul with the freak accident. So not only does the winning streak continue, but so does Sullivan's streak of not being taken off his feet. After the match, Sullivan grabbed Mendoza for more punishment. However, Cassius Ono jogged to the ring. Sullivan laughed at Ono and just walked away, folks. Backstage, Mr. William Regal was making jokes with the cameraman in his office when Johnny Gargano came in and said to not give up on him. Mr. Regal said he wasn't going to give up on him, and as a matter of fact, next week, right here on NXT, Johnny Gargano will challenge Pete Dunne for the WWE United Kingdom Championship, which I am sure, we're all shocked to hear that. Finally, it was the main event wrestling match of the night. It was Ember Moon going one-on-one with Mercedes Martinez. 2 weeks ago, Martinez declared that Moon would not win the women's title at TakeOver. Not sure how she arrived at this conclusion, but Moon took offense to that, and here we are. This was a more competitive match than perhaps you would expect, since Moon is 3 days away from her championship opportunity, trademark. Martinez caved in Moon's chest with a chop that reverberated from Orlando all the way to Ontario, and then broke out a combo Eddie Guerrero Davey Boy Smith tribute as she hit a Three Amigos where the last suplex was a delayed vertical. Ember made her comeback, hitting a beautiful suicide dive outside the ring, but when she went for the eclipse, Mercedes cut her off, hit the running diamond cutter from the top rope. A minute later, Moon, however, fought back, finally hit the Eclipse for the win. And then after the match, Nikki Cross, Peyton Royce looking just fantastic, and Kairi Sane all came out to stare at each other. And just to remind you, this Saturday night, live on the WWE Network from Houston, Texas, it is NXT TakeOver War Games, featuring not only Cassius Ohno versus Lars Sullivan, featuring not only Aleister Black versus Velveteen Dream. Not only will Asuka's NXT Women's Championship be on the line as Kairi Sane, Ember Moon, Nikki Cross, and Peyton Royce battle it out, not only will Drew McIntyre defend the NXT Championship against Andrade Cien Almas, but for the first time in WWE, the first time on a major league stage in almost 20 years, it is War Games. It is the Undisputed Era. It is Sanity. And it is the Authors of Pain and Roderick Strong. 3 teams, 9 men, 1 winner. Who will come out of the double cage as winners this Saturday night? Also next week on NXT, it is not just Pete Dunne versus Johnny Gargano for the WWE United Kingdom Championship. It is not just the 5 lengthy video packages that we'll get recapping every single moment of TakeOver, along with the appropriate post-match interviews. It is also Sonya Deville one-on-one with Ruby Riott. And then it was time for the main event segment of the show, as NXT champion Drew McIntyre came out for a promo building up his title match this coming Saturday night. McIntyre gave Andrade and credit for Zelina's plan working, but now they're in trouble because now reality is setting in because Almas has to go one-on-one with Drew McIntyre. Zelina has been rambling on and on about success and about mountains, but Almas will find out soon enough that McIntyre is the Bloody Mountain. Drew invited Almas out to face him like a man to prove something, not to Drew, not to Zelina, not to the fans, but to himself. He dared Andrade to come out and face him like a man, unless Zelina isn't going to let him off his leash. Out came Andrade, and it was on. Drew got the best of him until Zelina dove off the top rope. And believe it or not, 6'6" Drew caught 4'6" Zelina as if she weighed 100 pounds and looked befuddled before Almas clipped his knee from behind. Almas stomped away and injured Drew's knee as Zelina dropped the championship onto Drew's prone body as the show came to its end. Is Andrade our new NXT champion? Only one way to find out, and that's to check out NXT TakeOver War Games this coming Saturday night, live on the WWE Network. I want to thank you all for listening, and I will be back on Saturday with the recap of TakeOver. I'll be back on Sunday with live play-by-play of Survivor Series, and I will talk to you again this coming weekend.
You're listening to the Angry Marks Podcast Network.